So you have your regular one-string permutation lines, right? Now we're going to do them in thirds. Okay, so... Now notice that when I play moving back and forth, I tend to turn my hand slightly. Okay? Some people think this is incorrect. This feels more comfortable to me when I slight. It's a very little turn. Okay? So I just don't feel it's natural to have this completely turn when I'm moving in. Okay? It's just my personal preference. It's not right. It's just what I do. Okay? Notice I don't pick my finger up past the knuckle of the last finger. So. Okay? And you do all your permutations like that. So you have a... Okay? All of them can be done that way. What the hell is this crap? It never gets easier, it only gets worse. Okay, but this is like one of the most important things you can possibly... I actually came up with these exercises from a chromatic exercise that my teacher, Matt McGolan, told me in 5 times. Which is, just like a walk-up exercise with 3 fingers. You would go... It's really just a sliding exercise. Then next finger. Then you do it with the first finger. Now I think chromatic exercises are pretty much fucking retarded and useless unless you're planning on playing like Paganini or Chopin. Okay? In like modern music, learning like chromatic exercises is a waste of time. It's a way of guitar teachers to steal money from you. Okay? Because you're not going to use chromatic licks in modern music unless you're playing something ridiculous like Primus or Buckethead or some weirdo, music that is really obscure. Okay, pop music in most styles and genres does not use chromatics, so it's a real waste of time. Okay, focus on actual scale playing. So what I did was I took that chromatic idea and we started making exercises around symmetrical scale patterns. So your exercise that you're doing now is basically E minor scale. We just base that because it's the most common guitar key. So E minor scale, okay, natural, okay, reverse. Okay. Third. Reverse. Okay. And so far and so forth. You know the other permutations.
Yep.
Now when you get that good linear moving across sequentially, now we're going to go in thirds. That's all that really has to be done. And when you can do it in thirds, I mean, you can go as far as up to 5. After that, it's really no point. Meaning you can go fifths. Okay? I rarely ever use it. Like I used to practice it when I was in college. I was actually training, but it's something that like I use so infrequently that I don't actually train it. But it's a good exercise to just do a couple times in your life to have it under your belt. But I would say the thirds is where it really is at, because when you do things like this, unless you're playing like neoclassical or some kind of like specific shredding type of style, you're never gonna play a repetitive sequential sequence very often. Like say like cycle of 5, like you hear like all over, but I'm trying to think of a good one. Like these like cycles where you're doing like very common classical sequences, 1/5, 1. Things like that don't really happen in most pop music, in most metal music nowadays. You know what I mean? So unless you're in that genre, don't expect to be playing these long, symmetrical sequences. It's not going to happen. Where the usefulness of this comes into is in the middle of a solo, or the middle of a line, where let's just say we'll make up a line. I was showing you something like something simple, B minor, right? So instead of doing just a walk up, I go, okay. So I take the same line and just add the drill in place of the line. Again, like I usually teach about this in general, is that the tasty note, tasty sound is what comes first. I always like reference B.B. King, how he hits the one note and always has like that sound that like it catches you. It's immediately, it's tasty, you know, versus oh that's the note, you know. That is really where it's at, and your drills and your fast sequences should be decorations or tools to lead you to and from the tasty notes. Okay, you could also use the drills in place of a dull sequence, as I just showed you before. Something that, you know, it can be pretty, whatever. I'm just thinking a very basic line, sequential, whatever. Right? In the right context, it would be pretty, but you know, it is kind of like dull and, you know, symmetrical. If you want to be shredding and show off a little bit, that's the way you do it. You know, you take your right? I can do the same exact thing. Okay? And just adding more drills, until the point where the entire thing can just be just one long shredding riff. You know? Okay? So these, I mean, obviously I'm just making this up as I go along, but the concept is what's really important. So when you're trying to actually use your, you know, the scales in the drills that you're learning, whatever the drill is, don't think of it as that's the end all. Think of it as that it's a tool that either takes you from a place, brings you to a place, or replaces something that's a little lifeless. Okay?
Yep. Thank you.